Hi there, in this video we're going to add the 2 colored boxes with text, the 4 images and the footer. Right now we've got the logo, the navigation and this hero box with the Urban Strokes heading in it. So let's begin by creating this tan box here. So we're looking for this row here that has our 2 columns in it. Okay, and inside of this column here I'm going to create, remember we're going to use our trick, so we're going to put a period in, and we're going to call this one info box tan. Remember tab? Pre-fills it all in for us, lovely. Inside of this div class, we're going to put in an H2, okay, our heading 2, and this one's going to be inspiring reads. Then after that, I'm going to put in a P tag. Now we haven't used a P tag yet. Up until now, we've been using headings, but a P tag is a really common tag. Think of it as, it's called paragraph text, but it's your body copy. You're going to have lots of P tags throughout your site. So paste it in there. If I scroll down again, there's my H2 and there's my P tag. And the last thing I need is another read more button. So I'm just going to grab this guy, copy him over here. I'm going to click on this side, paste it in. So the first thing I want to style is my info box tan. I'm going to copy and paste it over to my CSS sheet. So I'm going to put in a period, then paste it, curly braces. I've got background color, and this tan color I know it is B9A88E, semicolon. Great. You can see he's tan over there on the right. Remember color, if I use color by itself, it's going to be the font inside this info box tan. And remember the one font color we know, FFF, semicolon. Let's also add some padding around the outside. So I'm going to give it a padding of 30 by 20 by 60. Scroll down a little bit over here so we can see him. The last thing we'll do is we'll go text align and we'll do center, semicolon. Lovely. So let's go and style our H2 and we're going to cheat. We're going to go about H1 because it's pretty much got all the properties we need. Put it underneath. Make you H2, but this font size here is going to be 30 and the bottom margin is going to be 23. Nice. Let's do our P tag. There's no reason why I'm putting it underneath here. I'd like to keep all the headings together, the P tag just underneath. The font size for this one is going to be 16 and I'm not going to force it to be uppercase. The font weight is going to be at 400 and the bottom margin is going to be 35. And look at that, good looking tan box. Let's go do the same for the dark one. So back over here now in our HTML, we're at a stage where we get to start reusing content, and along with Dreamweaver's code helpers, we can start being really efficient and really quick now. Like we're going to create our second box, but because it's very similar to this one, we're going to grab it all, copy it. And I'm grabbing the opening and closing of this class. You can see here's the open of this div class, and there's the closing. I just want the whole thing. Copy it. I'm going to put it in between this column here. Here's my second column. I'm going to tab it back just so it looks pretty, and switch out the text. There's a few reflections. Here's the paragraph text. Great, so we've got a new bit of content with different text. Let's go and change out the color here. This one here is called info box tan. Now if I switch this one out to dark, you can see over here, it's still got the correct text that is in there, but it doesn't have all the styling again because we've just invented this one called info box dark. So let's go and make it. And because it's very similar to this one called info box tan, it's gonna be nice and easy. Copy, paste. Just switch him out to dark. Not quite right yet, he's still at tan color, so let's go and switch out the tan color, which is 2D35, and voila, lovely dark box. Okay, so I'm back in our Photoshop mockup. So we've done our tan and dark box. Now we're going to look at this grid here of our images. Let's create those. So back here in my source code, what I'm going to do is, before we did it the long way, right? We started typing IMG, and that's great, but we're learning more and more shortcuts as we go along. So we're going to do IMG and we're going to hit tab, and it pre-fills in loads of stuff. Great. I'm going to type in it defaults to images, then it gives me access to the images that are already in that folder, and I don't have my gallery in there yet, so I'm going to click on browse. It's going to go to my assets that I've downloaded. I'm going to go to gallery 1, click on great, and have a look down here, and there's my image. He doesn't stretch out, but we'll fix that. But what I want to do first is bring in all the other images. So what I might do here to speed things up, I might bin these guys here, and with my cursor anywhere inside of this, remember we can hit Command D on a Mac or Control D on a PC and go nice and fast. Okay, and my images are named consecutively, so I can change these quite easily. But what we'll see is over here, okay, I've got my first image, but I haven't got these other ones. Because what happens is in that lovely process, remember the first one where it says I could delete this and browse, and I go out to that separate folder? What Dreamweaver does is it copies the image over for us, very helpful. But what we've done in this process is we manually just type these in, so it didn't copy them across. So to fix that, it's easy. Let's jump out to our desktop. So on the right here, these are the files that I've downloaded, okay? And over here is the website. So you can see Gallery 1 made it across, but these guys haven't. So I've selected all of these guys. I'm gonna make a copy and put them in this folder. Lovely. Let's jump back into Dreamweaver, and hopefully now if I scroll down, hey, all my images are there. Next thing I want to do though is get them to fit and stretch all the way across and be responsive. To do that, we could add a class to each individual image, but it's actually, we want this effect that we're going to do to apply to all images within this document. So it's better to do kind of like a block level global thing. So let's go and have a look at our style sheet. And up the top here, what we'll do under header is we'll actually style all the IMGs. Okay, so there's a couple of things I need to do to it. I need it to have a width of 100%. I also need a max width of 100%. For it to work right, it needs a height of auto and a vertical align of middle. Semicolon. Great. The one thing though, if I scroll all the way to the top, you'll notice our logo is stretching as well because he's an image. Okay, he's an IMG. So what we need to do is, I'd like to fix him up. So what we're going to do is we're going to find him. He's got a style that we made earlier. It's called style logo. And what we're going to say is we're going to give him an absolute width. Okay, instead of him being 100% by default, I'm going to override that by saying you have a width of 192 pixels. Presto. Now to finish off this design, we're going to add our footer. So let's jump over to our source code. Down the bottom here, here's our footer. Now inside this footer, we're going to make our row like before, tab. Then we're going to make a column, tab. And inside of this, we're going to have 2 p tags. Now we're going to add our class at the same time. Okay, so p, okay, and tab would give me my p class. But if I do p dot footer text and hit tab, okay, it applies it to it perfectly. Let's paste in our text, and we want another p tag. So with my cursor inside, Command D, and I'm going to replace that text with this text. Nice, you can see it down here. So now we've got the HTML in, let's go and style it in our CSS. So the first thing is let's put some padding around the outside. So let's go to styles, and let's do it to, remember over here we've got this thing called a footer. Okay, we can style that. So I'm going to put it up the top underneath images. Okay, I'm going to put in footer, curly braces. Let's add some padding. It's going to be 20 pixels for the top and bottom, and 30 for the left and right, semicolon. Scroll down a little bit, there we go. What I'd also like to do is style these fonts in here, and that's why we gave it the class, okay, called footer text. So let's go and style that. I'm going to put it down the bottom here before I get to tablet. This one here is going to be called footer text, curly braces. So let's add some font size even. Okay, and this one is going to have a font size of 13 pixels, and what we'll do is we'll do some margin, but just at the bottom of it, I want it to be about 20 pixels, semicolon. Great, so it's a little bit smaller and the padding between them is nice. So great, let's go back to our HTML. And actually, the thing I forgot to add was the gray in the background there. So we get to use our trick again, maybe the quick edit. Okay, so I want to edit this footer, I go to quick edit, and it tells me that the CSS is applying to it and also this footer. You can see there's my footer padding here. We adjusted it before, but know that you can add stuff to it as well. So I'm going to do background, use lowercase, just because. Background color, and I'm going to type in hash, and then I've got a color called DBECF1, semicolon. Great, and there's my gray color. Close down, quick edit. So well done, team. At this point, our asset has all of our core components, like our rows and our columns, including all the text and the images. But we have only styled it for our mobile screen. So watch the next video where we'll learn how to make it responsive and adjust for our tablet and desktop screens.